And every day I hold this office, I will give all that is in me to serve you well and make you proud. And most of all, I will remember, thank you, most of all, I will remember that while the honor is mine, this Senate seat belongs to no one person, no one political party, and as I said before, and you've heard it today and you'll hear it loud and clear, this is the people's seat. As you know, this special election came about because we lost someone very, very dear to Massachusetts and to America. Senator Ted Kennedy was a tireless worker and a big-hearted public servant, and for most of his lifetime was a force like no other in this state. The first call I made was to his wife, Vicki, and I told her that his name will always command the affection and respect by the people of Massachusetts, and I said we feel the same about her. There's no replacing a man like that, but tonight I honor the memory and I pledge to be the very best and try to be a worthy successor to the late Senator Kennedy. You haven't seen much of her on the campaign trail. I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Gail. As you know, my wife, Gail, couldn't join me on the campaign trail because of work as a Boston TV journalist, but I will let you in on a little secret.
No secrets.
No secrets. She didn't stay neutral today. She actually voted for the winner. And as always, I rely on Gail's love and support and that of our two lovely daughters. So I want to thank Ayla and Ariana for their help as well. And just in case anybody who's watching throughout the country, yes, they're both available. When I spoke to the president, the first thing I said, would you like me to drive the truck down to Washington so you can see it? And then I said, Mr. President, I know you like basketball, so tell you what, why don't you pick your best player, and I'll take Ayla, and we'll take you on 2-on-2. And this little campaign of ours was destined for greater things than any of us knew, and the message went far beyond, the sign that was there placed in the snow. And it all started with me, my truck, and a very few amount of dedicated volunteers. However, it ended with an Air Force One making an emergency run to Logan. And I didn't mind when the president came here and criticized me and talked about, some of the things that he disagreed with me on, but let me tell you, when he started to criticize my truck, that's where I draw the line. Throughout this race, we had the machines scared and scrambling, and for them, it's just the beginning of an election year filled with many, many surprises, I can tell you that. They will be challenged again and again across this great land. And when there's trouble in Massachusetts, rest assured, there's trouble everywhere, and they know it. And across this country, for all those folks who are listening, if they're covering me, we are united by basic convictions that only need to be clearly stated to win a majority. And if anyone doubts that in this next election season that's about to begin, Well, let them take a look at what happened in Massachusetts. I go to Washington as the representative of no faction or no special interest, answering only to my conscience and to you, the people. However, I know I have a lot to learn in the Senate, but I know who I am and I know who I serve. I'm Scott Brown. I'm from Rentham, and I drive a truck.